U of T is a pretty big school. There are almost 100,000 students across all three campuses and over 65,000 on the St. George campus alone, which stretches over 130 acres of downtown Toronto. As a result, we as students are left with a never-ending list of spots to study, places to chill, things to see, and of course, great construction to witness. Oh yeah. You really are a small, tiny-ass fish when you arrive at U of T. It's daunting entering Con Hall, looking around at the 1,479 other students here to take Bio 120 with you. It's scary seeing the endless streams of unfamiliar faces entering and exiting Robarts. It's easy to feel like a number here at U of T. But as a current fourth year, I can confidently say that U of T is where I belong, and I want to share some tips, tricks, thought spots, and basically everything I wish I'd known before coming to U of T that would have made this transition easier for me and have allowed me to feel the sense of comfort that I do now. Without further ado, I present to you DREA'S Declassified School Survival Guide to the University of Toronto. Hi, my name is Drea if you are new to my channel, and if you're not new, welcome back. I have been wanting to make this guide for the longest time ever. It's been in the back of my mind. Whenever I walk around U of T, I'm like, damn, wish I knew that earlier. I want to put this in this guide so other people can know it and not make the same mistakes or maybe discover things earlier than I did. Yeah, let's just get into it. I'm literally going on exchange in 4 days. So if I manage to film this in the next hour, which is all the time I have right now, awesome. If not, the background's gonna start changing because I'm just trying to film this whenever I can. So yeah, let's dive into this guide. Well, my answer to that is a big, fat no. I feel like U of T has been perpetually stamped with this idea that it is the most depressing school to go to. Back in grade 12, after accepting my offer to go to U of T, I remember feeling very scared that this stereotype was true. So many people were telling me like, oh, U of T is so sad. Are you sure you want to go there? It's really depressing. You can't have a life there. I remember being like, I already accepted my acceptance. Like, I hope that stuff isn't true. I personally don't think U of T is depressing at all. In fact, I find it to be so inspiring and so vibrant. First of all, we are in one of the greatest cities ever, Toronto. It's huge, and I think a part of the beauty of going to U of T is that we are right in the middle of downtown Toronto. So there's a literal unlimited amount of things to do. I also think there's just the most beautiful architecture, and there's such a diverse student body. The majority of my friends are not actually from Canada, and I think that that's really cool because I just get to hear so many different international perspectives. And in terms of the social life, which I know a lot of people are curious about, the social scene is great if you seek it out. We're not going to be like Queens or Western where there's parties going on everywhere because Toronto is just very spread out. But if you are surrounding yourself with people who like going out, or you yourself are seeking experiences to go out and to have these social settings, then you're gonna find them. Of course, there are times that you will feel like U of T is depressing because you're burnt out, you're tired, you're stressed, you're studying for midterms, you're cramming for finals, but that's kind of bound to happen, in my opinion, wherever you go. And I don't think that that's necessarily a U of T experience, you know? Yeah, our studies are hard and you have to work hard, but if you time manage and you make sure you are scheduling breaks, scheduling time to have fun, scheduling time to stay active and work out, it's a good time. It's honestly such a mindset thing. If you come into U of T thinking, I'm going to such a depressing school, then U of T is gonna feel depressing to you. But if you come in thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for all the new opportunities U of T is gonna bring me and all the cool things that I'm gonna do and all the vibrant life that I'm gonna live, like, you will have that. Like, it's all based on what you are thinking. So yeah, that myth is false to the max. U of T is not depressing. I think U of T has a stigma that it's super hard to make friends because there are so many people and the campus is huge. It's definitely daunting at the beginning. Like for me, for example, I came from a school where we only had 80 people in our grade, and actually coming to U of T, that was my first time moving schools. So U of T was definitely a huge switch up. But what I found was that I simply had to be more proactive in reaching out to people and finding people to connect with. I've made some of my closest friends from intramurals, going to parties, mutual friends, studying with a friend, and then one of their friends comes along and then I meet them and bam, friends. I've literally made friends from saying hi to someone in the elevator, not even saying hi, more like making a comment about why they were going to the second floor with the elevator, and now we're close friends. So literally just say hi or be open to meeting everyone and anyone, and you're gonna meet people. You're gonna be so fine, and there are so many fantastic people that populate the U of T space. You are bound to meet them. What I can say though is that once you make friends at U of T, it is harder to stay in touch with them in comparison to if you went to a small school, because you're not constantly going to be running into people because the campus is so big. So if you actually want to see people, you need to be reaching out to them and scheduling time to see them. Whereas maybe if you went to a smaller school which only had 2 libraries, for example, you would probably see the same people over and over and over. Because U of T is so big, if you don't want to see someone or you don't make the effort to see someone, you could just never see them again. So the main thing is invest in the relationships with the people you want to, or they will die. That's kind of just the fact of life, because people are busy. Everyone has their own schedules, classes, things they're doing outside of school. So make sure you're investing in the people you love. I don't think you will be lonely at U of T, and I don't think it's hard at all to make friends as long as you yourself are being honest, being a true, genuine person. You will run into people who are not, because university is real life. But if you are continuing to be your authentic self, you're friendly, put out good energy, you are gonna attract people who are also authentic and have the same vibe as you. Don't be scared about not making friends at U of T. For first years, I highly recommend going to your Frosh. I met so many people through Frosh, and honestly, like, making friends is a numbers game in the sense that if you are exposing yourself to more people, you're bound to meet more people that you click with. Yeah, you might not end up staying besties with the people that you were besties with during Frosh, but it allows you to meet people, and actually some of the people that I did meet during Frosh are still some of my close friends now. So you never know, and I think Frosh was just such a great experience. Make sure you sign up for that. If I'm being honest, that's a big fat no. There are a few varsity games here and there that do attract quite a few people. I remember I went to the U of T versus Queens volleyball games last year, and it was super fun. Like, the vibes are actually still so good at these games, even though if you compare the amount of people that go to these games, it's gonna be tiny in comparison to like a huge USC football game. Even Queens, like when Queens came to U of T, I swear the Queens crowd was bigger than ours, and we were in our home gym. I don't know, U of T doesn't really do a good job at promoting school spirit, despite having literally the perfect facilities to do so. But even given U of T's lack of school spirit, I think going to sport games at U of T are still super fun, and I love going on like a Friday night with my friends, just going to a volleyball game, going to a basketball game, going to a hockey game. That stuff is always fun. You know, it is what you make out of it. Also, in terms of like St. Patty's Day, Hoko, Foco, all of that, we don't have that. St. Patty's is just a normal day, but you know, you can find other places to find celebrations for that. Also, if you're looking for something fun to do with that kind of sense of spirit, I would highly recommend to go to a Jays game. They are so much fun. Like, I went to my first one last year. The tickets are pretty affordable and everyone's cheering, and I like didn't fully know what was going on, but like kind of did, and I just had so much fun there. So I am actually currently in Amsterdam. I just landed. I have a 4-hour layover, so I thought I would continue the guide here, literally at the airport right now. For the next section of the guide, I wanted to share some of the best spots around campus, some of my favorite spots, and some of them are pretty low-key, and I don't think many people know some of these. I'm gonna start with study spots, and I think finding your comfort study spots as you go throughout university is so important. There's just like such a big selection at U of T based on your mood, your vibe, whether or not you want to run into people, whether you're looking for something more contemporary or more like Harry Potter-esque. Literally, U of T has so many cool spots around campus. Here are my top 5 favorite study spots. Alright, so first up we have Eberhard Zeidler Library, which you'll find underground in the Daniels Architecture building. It has no windows, and if you know me, I need my natural light. But the way they've lit up this library is so weirdly nice, and even with it being artificial, it's still very pleasant. There aren't many tables, but it usually is quite empty. The second one I'd recommend is UC Library. This one is quite new and is so beautifully designed with the red carpet and all the beautiful stained glass. So third up, we have Knox College. This is an excellent library if you need to be somewhere ultra silent. Like literally you sneeze, you drop something, it will echo. It's more of an old style library and also has the most beautiful stained glass like the UC Library. Number 4 on our list is the top floor of the OISE building. You'll find the most beautiful views of the UofT campus and the CN Tower from here. The 5th place I'd recommend is EJ Pratt. It's super modern. You can find it in the Victoria College area. There are spots with lots of natural light, and there are also cubicles and a silent room, which I farted in once, and it echoed, and people stared at me, and it was really awesome because my friend laughed at me and made it obvious when I was trying to play it off that it was my chair. But anyway, I really enjoy studying in the basement because they have some nice big tables down there, and the vibes are very nice at this library. But the only downside would be that they close a little early. So I know I said I was going to give 5 spots, but here is a bonus spot for you beautiful people still listening. On the 4th floor of the old Robarts building, there is a newly renovated reading room. I'm gonna be honest, I really did not like Robarts at all until recently. Also, fun fact, the pee-pee poo-poo man incident happened in the cafeteria of this building. So yay! Now, let's move on to my favorite places on campus to hang out, chill, and grab a bite to eat. First, we have the Vic Quad, which is right outside of EJ Pratt. Especially when it's nice out, you'll find loads of people hanging out, having picnics, playing spike ball, reading. It's a beautiful spot on campus that you should definitely check out. Next, I'm sharing my go-to comfort spot on campus since first year. It's a freaking double whammy too. Inside Innis College, you'll find Innis Cafe, a cute little family-run cafe. They are the sweetest people, and they serve super affordable and homemade food. I'd recommend their brownies.
All right, we're finally eating the Innis brownie, which was our favorite thing in first year. This is monumentous, or whatever the word is. Monumental. Monumental. Cheers. That's so good.
Chicken breast burritos or smashed burger, and you have to make sure you ask them for their homemade hot sauce because it's friggin' bomb. The cafe also has a nice sitting area with a good availability of outlets, which is always nice, and in the corner of the cafe you'll see a small set of stairs that will take you to an outdoor rooftop patio. It's pretty small, but very low-key, I'd say, and so it's really nice to just chill and even do a little studying there when it's sunny out. Third, right beside Innis College, there's a building called Max Gluskin House that you can actually see from the big windows of Innis Cafe. They have some nice areas to sit in inside, and they also have some nice picnic tables outside too. The 4th spot is in the Rotman MBA building, and you just have to take the elevator up to the 5th floor. There is a terrace with a super beautiful view of Robarts and our campus up there. Next, I stumbled across this spot by accident, but I've ended up going back many more times after. Behind Bayhin, you'll find a nice calm area to chill. I like grabbing food on College Street and bringing it here to eat. And last, my favorite place ever, the MedSci building plant area. As someone who loves plants and the outdoors, this spot brings me a lot of joy. It's located in the back of the MedSci building, and the location is pretty perfect for a spot to eat because within MedSci, there is one of the best campus cafeterias I'd say UofT has. There's poke, poutine, pizza, literally so many options, and then you get to eat it surrounded by all these beautiful plants. Like, what more could you really ask for? Next up, I want to share some food recs. For those days when you just need to get off campus and have a change of atmosphere, my favorite cafes nearby are Hailed Coffee, Balzac's by Ryerson, Found Coffee on College, Neo Coffee Bar on Bay Street, and Second Cup at 1000 Bay Street. And I'm being specific because I think Second Cups are hit or miss, but I really do love this one. And then my favorite quick and affordable eats around campus would be Pig Up Barbecue. They have a varsity athlete discount, by the way, Juicy Dumpling, which has super amazing dumplings and also super cheap, pre-made dishes or onigiris from Galleria or H Mart, $5 banh mi's from Banh Mi Nguyen Huang on Spadina, and the Film Cafe in Kensington, which has really cozy vibes inside. Now I want to talk about resources. Because U of T is so freaking gigantic, there are really an endless stream of ways to get help, free and helpful resources, and just things to make sure you're taking advantage of while we're students, you know? Because when you're an adult out in the real world, none of this stuff is going to be free or as easily accessible to you. So the first thing is Heart House. At U of T, there's this building called Heart House, and there are, for example, free art classes, photography classes, film classes, workout classes. There are really just so many things to get involved in there, and it's a really nice way to have a sense of community. My favorite thing that I took part of at Heart House was a darkroom class where we learned how to develop our own film, which was so freaking cool. It was the most therapeutic thing ever, and there were only 4 people in the class. They also sometimes have concerts, and I went to this a cappella concert, for example, in December, and it was so beautiful. It's just a little community of its own at U of T. I'm gonna link where you can find all the resources down below and also put it right here. The second thing would be academic advisors. You can ask them about your current courses, planning future courses. If you're confused about your major and just need someone to bounce ideas off of, you can talk to them. Personally, I've found it to be extremely helpful to have someone that can give me solid advice about U of T courses, because sometimes I find course enrollment to be a little bit confusing. So take advantage of these people. They are always super helpful and willing to listen to your academic problems. So at Heart House, Gold Ring, and the Athletic Center, they offer a bunch of free workout classes, from yoga to bar to Pilates to HIIT. There's so many free workout courses, and I think it's just a great way to stay active, and also a great way to meet people, but also a great activity to do with friends that allows you to see each other during a really busy time, for example, but also get a little workout in, which is fantastic. Physiotherapy at the David L. McIntosh Clinic, which is in Gold Ring. You only have to pay an $80 flat fee, and once you pay that one time during the school year, you get access to physiotherapy for the remainder of the school years, which is pretty bomb. I became best friends with my physiotherapist last semester when I had a concussion, so you also get a little friend out of it. I know that it is a little easier for varsity athletes. I'm not sure if you're not a varsity athlete how it is, but at one point I was doing 2 or 3 sessions per week, and it was really easy to book, and it was just $80, so take advantage of that. Writing centers. I find university writing to be a little different than high school writing. So going to these writing centers a week or so before my assignment is actually due, say, let's say an essay is due, I go to this writing center and they can give me feedback and help me work through the rubric and really think of different approaches to the question. And so I would say get involved with those. And lastly, prof and TA office hours. I know it sounds so obvious to get involved in prof and TA office hours, but like everyone stressed it when I was in first year to go. And I didn't start going till the end of first year. And I remember the first office hour I went to, I was like, oh my God, why have I not been going in the past? This is so helpful. Sometimes they're structured, for example, where you can just go one by one and ask the teacher your question. Sometimes it's more of like the prof or TA will open up the room and people can sit down and raise their hand and ask questions, and you get to see the prof or TA walk through the answer to these questions on a whiteboard, which is super helpful. And sometimes there are just questions that you wouldn't have thought of, but then you see these other people asking them and then you get to learn from them. Oh, also, because U of T classes are so big, I really think it's nice to be able to develop a personal relationship with your prof and TA where they actually know your name, which is kind of sad to say, but it's hard for them to know you, especially in life sci courses where class sizes are just so big. So if they can put a face to your name, for the most part, I think you will end up doing better in the course because they see that you're trying. It's also opened doors for some of my friends in terms of they see that my friends are working hard and then they offer them a research position, or they actually offer them a position completely unrelated to this field, but they have a friend that is looking for someone, and then bam, they know your face, they know your name, they know your personality somewhat, they know you're hardworking, so a door opens. So I think definitely take advantage of your TA and prof office hours. So next I want to share some of my favorite outdoor green spaces, nature places in Toronto, and are just great to escape to because if you're like me, I go a little crazy when I'm just around buildings all the time. So these are some of my favorite places to escape the hustle and bustle of Toronto and just have a little time to breathe.